Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel, you rascals. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great. Appreciate you stopping by. I did a couple of UFC interviews for my fight fans out there that are up on the channel. They'll air on the radio show tomorrow as well, but got a chance to speak with Khalil, two guys I've never spoken to, which is always cool. I don't get that a lot. I've talked to a lot of fighters now. Two guys I haven't spoken to, Khalil Roundtree and Yuri Prohashka. They're fighting each other. And I liked both conversations. So if you guys are fight fans, check those out on the channel. They should be fun. I think you'll enjoy them. I tried to ask some different stuff than they typically get. Because quite frankly, Prohashka loved talking about how crazy he is with the training. And when I asked about fights, that kind of walled him up. Khalil was just an absolute delight through and through. So, fight fans, check those out. Meanwhile, the fight is on in Miami Heat training camp. Actually, I thought the fight was going to be on, and you get news today that Kasparas Jakučionis, a.k.a. Kasparas Jakučionis, is going to be out, I guess, a little bit. I don't know how long this thing's going to keep him out, but he banged up his wrist. Left wrist, non-shooting hand in practice, so he did not go on Thursday. I don't know how long this is going to be. I don't know how long he is going to be out. Not a lot of deets on that. It's not thought to be long-term, but obviously a little disappointing for sure. Like, the guard room for the Miami Heat, thought to be robust, has dried up quite quickly. In fact, we talked about yesterday that I thought this was with Terry going down, with Pelle Larsson going down, and Tyler being out. I was hopeful that there was going to be a chance for Cass to get some run, especially early on in these preseason games, which obviously get going on Saturday. So we'll see. I'm not, I don't really have a diagnosis on it. I'm sure we'll get us some reports from those who are boots on the ground in Boca for it before the Heat head off to Puerto Rico. But, this is one of the nuisances of the early goings of the season. You want to be cautious with these things, but, I was watching, first of all, the big word was that he and Davion Mitchell had a good battle. He seems to be impressing Spo early on, which is really cool. Spo seems to like his competitive spirit, loves the way that he competes. And those are going to be things that will endear you to the coach right away. But if you guys didn't see, the team, I've been saying this for 2 years. They've really upped their game when it comes to the YouTube stuff. So check out, it's like 2 minutes of him mic'd up, and it's cool. You get to see him interact with Bam and Norm Powell and Wayne Ellington, and it's mostly him working with the Exhibit 10 guys and the young guys on the roster. There's a little bit of stuff of him getting communicated with Bam and Bam giving us some defensive advice and things like that. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know what to. I've said this, and I think it's been said, is that I guess the lean is, he's a 19-year-old that you would expect is probably not going to get a ton of time, and I think there's probably going to come a point in the year where they'll want to send him to South Dakota to get some work. But with all the other guys being banged up, I was hoping he would, we'd see him a little bit in the preseason. We probably would have anyway, but I think it would have been interesting to see him. I remember that happened with Nico's rookie year, where there was a bunch of guys banged up, and so you got to see him just a little bit. We got to see flashes of the first sets of talent that he has. So right now, the big thing is for everybody in that guard room to get healthy, because they're all banged up. It's pretty much Davion, Norm Powell, man, is that it? Is that the list? I'm forgetting about somebody. Am I? Drew Smith. But I don't even know if Drew's good to go, so I'm not really positive on where that is either. I don't know if Drew is all the way back, so I'm not clear on that. But Yeah, Drew, at least coming back from an Achilles. Pella, quad. Terry Rozier, hamstring. Kasparas Jakučionis is dealing with a wrist. And, of course, Tyler Herro is on the mend from his ankle surgery. Now, Tyler, there was a clip today of him with Jason Jackson on SiriusXM radio, and they were kind of having a fun back and forth. He was telling doctors, like, I'm going to have the fastest comeback ever. He's talking game 5. I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, I'd be surprised. The thing that is interesting is they didn't put anything in. They took something out. So I guess that's a good thing. Nothing has to really settle into his foot. So that's some good news. Let's just play Tyler Herro hypothetical. He 5 games in would be Orlando, Memphis, New York, Charlotte, and then the first road game of the West Coast trip against the San Antonio Spurs, and then they would head out west for Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, and get their handle on that. I would venture to guess the Heat probably don't bring him back till they come back. If it was the most optimistic, then I would venture to say they'd probably leave him home to and come back, for the 4-game homestand. But look, if he's feeling good, he's feeling good. But I think it read a lot better than it sounded. I think it sounded kind of playful, and he's obviously got a good rapport with Jax. Jax is been on the team broadcast. What does Jax say? 21 years with the Miami Heat. So guys are going to cut loose with Jax. That's just how he makes it. He's fun. He's awesome. And that is, so I don't know what to read into that. Obviously, Tyler's going to be comfortable in that setting, but we'll wait and see. Everybody's speeding up their recoveries between Tyler Herro and Alexander Barkov. Everybody's ahead of schedule right now, and especially Spo sending the hockey world into a frenzy. And speaking of Spo, there was another clip that circulated today of Zach Lowe of the Zach Lowe Show. And I guess the thing that everybody was excited about is Zach Lowe says that he's hearing birdies that the Miami Heat are going to play much different this year, that they've revamped their style, that they realize that their offense has been terrible, and that they're going to play somewhat different. We'll see. Doc Rivers, who, he was kind of making this point today about the Pacers, that like the Bucks are going to be who they are. They're not going to change, but they have Giannis, and Giannis is one of the biggest bulldozers in the league, and he's going to play how he's going to play, and everyone's going to basically play off of him. The Heat, I think, Spo, you get the idea that they're going to lean into their versatility, and the Jovic thing, which we're going to get to here, is the main thing, is going to be an interesting part of that, because people have been wanting fast and they've been wanting up and down, and he really is the catalyst on that. Is, if you guys watch Serbia, right, that is a huge way of how they play, up and down, and especially off misses. You get off misses, it's boom, boom, fling the ball all around and get the ball right in transition for guys. I mean, that is basically how Serbia went and attacked. It's not even like Joker plays like normal Joker. It's more like he's playing traditional center, bullying in. He's not like got the ball in his hands the whole time and is kicking it around everybody like he does in the NBA. So I don't know if that's like a sustainable style, and not everybody's obviously been on the Serbian national team. But we do know that Spo visited over there, and you wonder, Spo does take a little bit from everybody, and I know that he has an aberration for Coach Pesic, so it could be something that they kick around. He also said that they were, I guess guessing awards. I'm guessing this was a Zach Lowe bit. And he's saying that there's been a groundswell of support for Erik Spoelstra to win Coach of the Year because he's never won it. Trust me when I tell you, he doesn't want it. Zach Lowe. He doesn't want Coach of the Year, and anybody who's trying to peddle off Coach of the Year as some consolation prize, for Erik Spoelstra. Like, he doesn't want the award. Now, it used to be that award was a kiss of death. Like, that's how it is. Now, apparently, winning the championship is the kiss of death, because you win the championship, say goodbye in 2 years because somebody will be sick of you and they want to move on. So that's just something to keep in mind. I don't think there's anything Erik Spoelstra has less interest in than Coach of the Year. The only thing I think Erik Spoelstra would take Coach of the Year for was if he could use that as like a Willy Wonka golden ticket to never speak to the media. If Erik Spoelstra could use this, and if he could just be like, hey, if you guys give this to me and vote me for this, can I never speak to you guys? Maybe like once at the end of the year. Then I think he would take the honor bestowed upon him. But otherwise, no, he has no interest in that. Speaking of the Bucks, while the Miami Heat will be in Puerto Rico for this game against the Magic, the Bucks are already venturing down here for a little getaway training camp. And that's because Miami Heat and the Bucks play on Monday, and I believe Giannis Antetokounmpo, crazy how fast he healed from COVID, wants to fly down to Miami, according to Doc Rivers, to be there. And interesting that Giannis Antetokounmpo would want to speed up his recovery from disease to get to a city like Miami. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Could be something. Could be nothing. I don't know. But it was noticeable. It's like, you guys are having He's like, Giannis, how are you doing? Oh, Doc. Not so good, dude. He's like, that's a bummer, man. I'm taking everybody down to Miami early for our preseason game. You know what? I'm feeling a lot better. Why don't you send me some flight information? I think I'm feeling all of a sudden better. Really? Really? Yeah, man. All right, we'll do it. You got it, Giannis. Good talk. So that was interesting. The other thing that was of note today, Nikola Jović, he reacted a little bit to the news. Now, it was not official. I don't believe Erik Spoelstra could comment on it because it hasn't been announced by the team yet. I don't know what's getting dotted and crossed, but it's going to happen because the media relations department did, bring Nico over, and even Nico is like, whoa, the agent and him, they're all finishing it, they're making progress on it. But he did give some quotes. He said, I'm blessed. Still talking to my agent. Progress is being made. Haven't signed anything officially, but hopefully it'll get there soon. I'm happy that this ownership and organization sees the talent, sees the work that I put in, and I'll make sure that I give my everything to make this contract worth a lot more. Talked about this yesterday. Very happy for Nico. So I don't necessarily know if I have anything exciting to add, but it was cool seeing him hit this note. I guess the thing that is going to be interesting is how much does this influence him getting minutes, and if this is a belief of where he's at. But I do think this is the organization. I mean, like, look, the organization actions have spoken very loudly about what they believe in this guy. And look, I said this last year when he had the game in Golden State. And I said, just hand this kid the keys. All right. Respect to the other guys. They are more polished. They're more accomplished. But there's just something about this guy. He feels like he unlocks a lot. And that was him at 21. Now he's 22. I'm very curious to see what this year brings for sure. But I think the organization, when they get faith in a guy and they do something like this, it is a noticeable thing. And I think to somebody like Josh Richardson, right? And I know everyone's going to quiver and shake at that stuff. But look, man, Josh turned himself into a really nice player. off his first rookie extension with the Miami Heat, and that was really, really earned. And I think that you could tell the guys that they respect. Now, should they have made Josh Richardson the number one option on a team when Dwayne Wade was leaving? No, obviously not. But he turned himself into a hell of a player, and he turned himself into a guy that, there was a lot of Heat fans that were like, "Oh, we love Jay Rich. We don't even." When the Timberwolves talks were happening, they're like, "I don't know if we want to part with Jay Rich," And I'm not here to say that Nico's ceiling is Jay Rich, because they're not very similar in their age journey, because Jay Rich was a second-round pick. It was, I believe, a 4-year player at Tennessee, and, is 6'4", lengthy, didn't come in with much of a jump shot and had to develop all that stuff. Whereas Nico is like a project from jump, but he's had the injuries to battle, but he's also had a lot of international basketball, and he's had a lot of the players in the locker room have really backed him. And I mentioned the Jimmy thing yesterday, and that's been there. But Tyler too. Tyler, I think, even mentioned, I think it was on Cooper Moorhead's podcast, that I think it was that. So if it wasn't, I apologize. I couldn't keep up with everything from Media Day, but I think it was on Coop's podcast. That he expects Nico to step up the most with him out. And yeah, I'm very curious. That to me is going to be the interesting thing. With Tyler out, with a piece being out, can he just lean in right away and be good with that? And even if it's like a slump like last year, can he put that behind him now that the contract can go one of two ways? It could relax you, and it could burden you. Now, he doesn't have a massive deal, and it doesn't kick in till next year, so I hope that he just plays like him. He said, when he was asked by Ira today, Ira Winderman from the Sun Sentinel, about money changing you, and he says, I believe that I'm going to stay the same person, that I'm going to, stay humble. And I think that's going to be the case. I think that I remember last year at the end of the year, like, just how accountable he was for the team. And I could tell that mind you, his rookie year, they went to the finals and he didn't play very much. And I think that it kind of eats at him that he wants to be a big reason for the winning. So that's going to be a cool thing. But hearing him speak today about, how much Miami means to him, and he was even saying, like, man, I was in Serbia, and like, for the first time I really missed Miami. I might make this my home. And I'm like, man, that's that to me is Goosey's. So really cool stuff. Happy for Nico, as I've said. And man, I'm ready for this preseason action, dude. It's gonna be a busy Saturday night, eh? We got, I don't know why I went all Canadian there. It's going to be a busy Saturday night, eh? I was watching the Panthers documentary before I got on here. Their Stanley Cup one. But you got Saturday night. You got Heat preseason debut. You got Canes FSU. You got UFC 320. So busy Saturday. And then, of course, the much anticipated matchup with the Miami Dolphins taking on the Carolina Panthers. It's all happening for us, baby.